Hello, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am sharing with you the Spellbinders May 2020 Large Die Kit of the Month. It's called the Kaleidoscope Card Creator, and there are 11 dies in this set. I'm going to show you 3 ways to use it today. So let's take a look at the main pieces of this die set that create the card front. There are 3 corner pieces. You're going to want to die cut 4 of each of those, 1 for each corner, and then you'll layer them together. There's the side pieces. You'll need 2 of each of those. And you can see here, this die has the most detail. The least amount of metal, it's going to cut the most detail. This one has a little bit more metal, so the piece that it cuts is going to have a little bit more paper showing. This has the most metal. It's going to die cut the paper so it has the most of the flower showing, and that will go on the bottom. The side pieces are a little bit harder to tell because they're very fine detailed pieces. So just take a close look at the die and you can see the third one has the most metal. It's going to cut the biggest pieces, and that will go on the bottom. So I'm going to take my top layer, which I have die cut from gold mirror paper, and I'm going to be really careful trying to get the smallest amount of glue on here that I possibly can. I'm going to layer that onto my second piece, my middle piece. And then I like to take a paper towel and kind of press down on that. That way, if any glue squishes out, the paper towel can pick that up. And then we'll glue on the final layer. I've chosen to use Blue Lagoon and Cool Pool cardstock beneath the gold here. And I just love how this looks. The gold is so striking. So we'll add that bottom layer, and you can see how cool that is with the 3 different layers like that. All right, so we'll press that down and then continue to glue these together till I have all 4 of those corner pieces created. So then I will put together these side pieces, and you'll notice I'm only putting glue on the middle pieces and not on the ring and the tab on the edge. Those will come into play when we put all of these pieces together on our card front. But you can see these line up really easily together. I mean, not hard to figure out how to line them up at all. So then we'll layer on that third piece, finishing off both of these side pieces. There's only 2 that you need of the side pieces. Now when I adhere this to a card front, I am using a panel that measures 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. That way no white will show beyond the edge of my kaleidoscope pieces. I've laid them out how they're supposed to go. You can see it's alternating the ring and then the circle, the ring and then the circle on all the pieces. So a ring will always attach to a circle. Those are your attaching pieces. They're on the edges. So I'm going to glue this first piece into the corner of my card front panel right on the edge of my paper. If you wanted a little white to show around the edge, you could use a piece that is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So when I glue this one on, I'm going to make sure that little circle goes underneath the ring. So every time you glue one on, make sure the circle is going under the ring. And I'm just going to go around my card clockwise so I can fit these on without forgetting which ring is going under what. All right, so then I'll pick up that side piece and glue that on again so that circle goes under the ring. So attach that right there and flush with the edge of that card front panel. And then I'll go ahead and finish up the rest of this, gluing them on just as I have before. All you have to remember is put that circle under the ring. And you can see how it makes such a cool frame around this card front. And imagine all the possibilities and how many different looks you could get just by changing up the colors that you use. All right, so when you die cut the top piece, you get this fallout circle. I'm going to glue those in so that it covers up kind of that glue. And in case that circle didn't get all the way under the ring, you would have a white space, so you can glue these on. You could also die cut them from another color and stick a colored piece in there. So endless possibilities. Here are the other 5 dies from this set. Remember, there's a total of 11 dies in this set. I'm going to die cut them out and show you what paper I'm using as I go. And it's going to just match the rest of my card, and then I'll layer these pieces up to create these flowers. So this is a tiny little frame. You could stamp a little word inside of that. It would be really cute as a word frame, but I'm not going to use it like that today. So you can see here I'm using the same color pattern, that cool pull on the bottom, blue lagoon in the middle, and then the gold mirror cardstock on the top. I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to stamp a sentiment right in the middle of this frame. Isn't this oblong frame so cool with the pierced holes in it? I love it. And yes, for those of you who are like into grammar, I mean, I want to say I'm into grammar, but I homeschool my children, and I did not realize that I had the wrong your on this until I did card number 3. Pretty sure. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and put a little E in there and an apostrophe. Don't worry if you're worried about that grammar and it's gonna drive you crazy. I will fix it. I will fix it. I promise you. All right, so I cut the flowers off of that little frame and I'm adhering them to my card so it kind of points into the sentiment, making it obvious that I don't have any grammar skills. Yeah. All right, once that's dry, I'm going to adhere it to a card front or a card base that is 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4, and it's going to have a tiny little frame of that blue lagoon cardstock all the way around. And then I'm going to add some gems to this once that's all dry. These are the rainbow drops from Fun Stamper's Journey. I'll glue 3 of those on to finish up this card. Isn't it pretty? Love it. It's so like regal looking. All right, on to card number 2. I thought I'd show you how I collect all the tiny fallout pieces to make it easy and quick and a little bit less of a mess. I just do this right over a bowl and let all those little pieces fall in. And yes, I'm always on the lookout for cute little bowls. That one looks like a waffle cone bowl. Isn't it cute? I found it at the grocery store. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to glue these 3 together. I'm using 3 shades of pink. Let me see if I can remember them. Bubblegum, Watermelon Fusion, and Sweet Berry, in that order, top to bottom. And I love how the 3 shades of one color look with this die set. Now for this card, I am going to trim off that ring and that circle, and I will make 4 of those. And these 4 pieces are going to fit snugly together on a card that is 4 inches by 8 inches and scored at 4 inches. So we have a 4x4 card. So we're going to use those other pieces to make sure I have that first piece where it should be, so everything's going to fit on here with a white border all the way around. Once I have that where I want it, I'm going to put a heavy block on it, let it dry, and then I'll bring in the second piece, the third piece, and the 4th piece, and look at the really cool circle this leaves in the middle. Now, if you want to put a circle in the middle there, you need a 2-inch circle. I'll show you that in just a minute. First, I'm going to stamp the word happy with that Sweet Berry ink and stamping it 2 times so it's nice and dark. And then I'm going to bring in that 2-inch circle and I'm going to stamp on that as well. So I'm going to use that happy stamp as a guide for where to put the words O and day. So it's going to say, oh, happy day. Cute, right? So once I get those right where I want them, I'll use the door of my MISTI to pick up all 3 of those stamps, and they'll be right where I want them to be. And then I can remove the word happy and just stamp O and day, like that. And then I'm going to fussy cut the word happy. You can see in the sped up version of my fussy cutting that I turn the paper with my left hand while holding my scissors in my right hand pretty still. And that helps me get this faux die cut look for this sentiment. And I tried that out and realized I wanted to cut away a little bit more of the white in between those letters. So I went back and did that. And now I like it a lot. But my daughter did come up from behind me and startle me when I was cutting. So if it's a little jagged around one of those P's, that's why. All right, so I'll glue the circle right in the middle there. And then I'm going to put the happy on top with some foam squares. And I'll finish this card off with more of those rainbow drops. I'm going to put the red one in each corner, but these are a little translucent, so they pick up the color that's from behind them, and so they don't look so dark red on top of this pink paper, just like another shade of these pink colors. And I love how this looks. It reminds me of those flowering trees outside right now with the white and the pink flowers in the spring. I love it. So there's card number 2, another way to use these Kaleidoscope dies. Might be my favorite card of the 3. All right, for the second card, or third card, I am using only the squares. I'm layering them up. I made 4 pieces and then I put them together in a long chain. As you can see in the bottom right corner, I just happened to lose that footage, or I didn't get the record button pushed, or you know, these things happen. So now I am adhering those flowers, and I wish I would have left it and used it just like that this time, but I really like the look of these flowers cut off, so I cut them off. But you could use, for this card, I could have used that piece, but I will use that smaller inlaid piece from that die, the little yellow piece. I'm going to save and use on this card. So now I'm stamping "You Are Awesome," and I realize, oh no, I didn't have the right "your" on card number 1. Oh gosh, I'll fix it, ladies. I will fix it, no worries. All right, so I'm stamping "Thanks" on there, that little yellow piece with some darker yellow ink, Summer Days. And then I'm gluing on this embossed panel to my white cardstock for just some added detail. And then I can glue on my strip of squares. Isn't that cool how they hook together? It's so like retro looking to me. And I love it in these colors. So it goes all the way across my card. It is 5.5 inches long when glued together like this. And then I'll take that one fallout piece and glue it in so it's all even looking. And then we'll add the sentiment piece to the center with some foam squares, and I'll take the little "thanks" and add that right below. But you can see I could have left that flower piece all together and put it around the "thanks." It would look so cute. But instead I put my flowers on each corner with some foam squares, and now I'm adding some gems to each of these open spaces because they fit in there perfect. And if these are still available, I will link them. They're one of my favorite embellishment packs called All the Things. Yeah, it's really cool. It also has sequins in it too in the pack. So that finishes up card number 3, and the third way to use this new die set from Spellbinders. And I will make sure and link it for you below, and you can check it out if you're not familiar with their kits of the month. They have several: large die, small die, stamp of the month, kit of the month, like glimmer hot foil of the month, so many cool things. So I'll put some links for you below and you can check that out. Thank you so much for stopping by and letting me share these fun cards with you. I will be back again very soon with a new video, so feel free to subscribe if you are new here, and I will see you all again very soon. Happy stamping! Bye!